Which of these three items is the most important for photogrammetry? If you said the camera or the lens, you are completely wrong. Let me explain why. So here we have a pretty useful image, and if you're a little bit familiar with photogrammetry, you should know the answer. Obviously, the most important thing is a good flash and a CPL filter and a filter for your flash. And this picture is showing you, if you don't know the answer, why. Because on the left we have a normal picture with taken by a camera, looks like with a flash but not polarized, and the same image on the right. And if we zoom in, we can see, if we focus maybe on this little weight here, we can see the difference. So if we would try and scan this little weight with our camera setup, turntable setup, whatever you feel comfortable to use, we would have all of this shiny, super annoying stuff in the scan. Worst case scenario, the scan wouldn't even align. And if we look on the right, we have the same weight, but it's completely flat and even. There is basically no reflection or shiny part left. There's always a little bit. You can't get rid of all the reflections. That's based on how light works and how the wavelengths which go through the filter work. But as you can see, there is quite a difference. And if we look on the tools here or on the spoon, it's even more visible. On the spoon here, you can see the blue light coming from the flash. And also a really good example is this little donut thing here, where you can see the gradient from black to yellow. And here it's almost gone. Same for the tape, way less reflective. And that can be used for whatever you want to scan. I see people a lot of time doing outdoor scans and doing that with the normal camera, without a flash. That works. Most of the people forget to delight the scan, because even if you shoot on an overcast day, you won't have a perfect scan. You will have shadows, you will have light in there. Even if your little baby human eye can't see it, it's in there. You need to delight it. There are apps for that, like Edgesoft, the delighter. You can do it in Substance Designer. You can do it in Substance Sampler, whatever you want to use. But you need to do that if you're shooting without a flash. I mean, there are even courses which are selling the idea of just take a picture and it's good. You don't need to process the images in terms of removing the light. Just plain wrong. I don't name any names here, but you can buy this. You can buy this stuff on ArtStation. And if we look at the color checker, I think it's pretty obvious. On the left here, the color checker is super reflective. That's the X-Brite Color Checker Passport 2. It's made out of black WAF plastic. So it's really reflective on the plastic if you use it. And if we look here on the right, it's almost completely black. So if I would start with photogrammetry, that's the first thing I would buy. Get an average camera, get a little bit better than average lens, and get a flash and a polarizer. And I buy all of my stuff at Texaway. It's a German company. You can build your own polarizing filter. I would just buy it. And they have a really nice explanation video. Basically, you just throw that thing on your flash and end up with a construction like that. So here we have the flash. And these little tubes are the flash tubes. And you have some LEDs for some background light, which is also a nice to have. And the whole thing is 3D printed, PETG, so it's not PLA, so it won't melt when the flash gets a little bit warmer. I have it for, I think a year now or so. And it's completely solid, holding up really good. And if you have, I think it's 120 euros, which is a fair price if you consider the material and the time spent on creating it. If you have the money, go buy it. That's for the flash. And I think they also have one for the smaller LED flash, for the R200. If you have this flash, you can also get this version. I mean, the R200 is a little bit more on the weak side. If you have the budget, go for the big boy. Go for the RF400. Obviously, you also need to polarize the lens you're using. And for that, I'm using K&F filters, CPL filters, so cross polarization. And you just need to find out what width you need for your lens. And then you get a CPL filter. I think the TrueColor Nano X series is pretty good. I had a few more expensive ones. I had a few more cheap ones. And I think like these for about 50 to 70 euros are perfect. They're not too expensive. You can go all out for like 300 euros, completely stupid, over-engineered. Nobody needs that. I like these because they are multi-layered and have a little metal frame. So it's hard to see in the picture, but it's all metal. It's not plastic. And they stay really good on the lens. With that together, you have a really good kit for getting real good scans, and you don't need to really delight at the end of the day. So you just you throw your images into Lightroom and you are basically good to go. And if you are unsure what camera you should use or what lens could be good for you, make sure to check out this video where I give you a little overview on what I'm using on my day-to-day photogrammetry adventures.